Ladies and gentlemen, the mentality on the left, especially the vote blue, no matter who people. And I know I don't know personally, but I know of a great many people who have this mentality, especially very, very morally superior, apoplectic, oftentimes, but morally superior and almost always indignant, righteous liberal Democrats. Their mentality, and you probably know them in your life, and you know them, you know their YouTube channels, and you know who they are as journalists. Their mentality and entertainment, all of Hollywood has this mentality. Their mindset is the following: vote for the lesser evil. Even if you don't like the Democratic Party, it's categorically better and morally superior than Republicans on almost every issue, except almost every one of the issues that they pontificate and judge and condemn and preach about. This today is very interesting. You have Democratic representatives in an uproar. They're outraged. The Biden administration says it may restart construction of the wall to fill gaps left by Trump. Biden could restart some building along the U.S.-Mexico. Okay, the Washington Times reported. Biden had pledged to halt construction, but the Homeland Security chief said gaps needed filling. It's just gaps need. It's like, you know what? It's just like the dentist. You got to go in. Gaps need filling. And, you know, it's better than the Trump administration. Actually, it's worse, though, because you have a more militant foreign policy. You will not remove Americans on May 1st, 2021, from a region of the world we've been in, our American men and women soldiers have been in for 20 years. So President Trump negotiated a deal to remove Americans, to bring them home. May 1st, 2021, anyone could look it up. It should have been celebrated and championed last year. It wasn't, by the Republican Party especially. Trump, you might not like Trump's words. He might be mean, but he does good things. He was the first president to step foot in North Korea. President Moon Jae-in of South Korea stated that Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. He presided over the Abraham Accords, the beginning of peace between Israel, UAE, Bahrain, Morocco. And we had, until Democratic states gleefully tanked their economies, record low unemployment. But they tanked their economies because of science. The highest unemployment rates, the top 14 highest unemployment rates, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, are in Democratic-run states. Democrats have presided, Democratic governors have presided over the absolute worst outcomes. The absolute worst outcomes from the pandemic. But let's just look at another reason why Democrats aren't morally superior in any way, shape, or form, and they're not even better from a liberal perspective. Trump seeks $25 billion for wall, offers Dreamers citizenship. Dreamers could have already had citizenship right now had President Trump received money for the wall. Okay? This was January 24th, 2018. Democrats said, no way. The wall is immoral. It's an eyesore. It's not going to help. It's not going to do anything. And now Biden's continuing it because just to fill gaps. Then the one rebuttal might be, well, it's not in his budget. Yeah, he hasn't even increased the budget for unaccompanied young people, which is a huge, huge moral dilemma that Biden is facing. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. You can read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, The Daily Caller, other publications on hagoodman.com, and you can see my debates. When this is really, it's like Keith Olbermann is probably the epitome of the morally superior liberal and he did a video where he was like, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? Well, how about not continuing what President Trump started? A lot of things that he did were very good. Some things that he did, obviously, were missteps. He did a lot more good than bad. In the minds of Democrats, they were expecting catastrophe even before he first stepped into the Oval Office. They were saying that it was the end of the world. When we had record low unemployment, they were saying, "Oh my goodness, we want a recession." They got exactly what they wanted eventually. Okay, it was a catastrophe last year, primarily because Democratic governors in New York, for example, Andrew Cuomo putting infected people in elderly care facilities. That's 15,000 lives directly from a Democratic governor's decision. No obsession over that. It's always, Trump's pandemic response, his response, but you could look, God bless the people of New York and New Jersey. They deserve better than the Democrats that run their states. Those states are number one and number two, the highest per capita rates, and the tops in terms of, unfortunately, lives lost. 7 of the top 11 states with the greatest number of lives lost are Democratic-run states. It's over 40% of all the lives lost in this country. Around 40%. But President Trump, had he simply gotten funding for his wall, would have already offered Dreamer citizenship. Okay? And if he gets $25 billion from the wall, is open to granting citizenship to undocumented immigrants who were brought to the United States as children. They could have already had citizenship. So the Democratic Party isn't even better on this issue. And that's what I was saying when I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. President Trump, in many ways, is better for left-leaning voters. But see, again, the mentality is, well, he wasn't better because, you know what, that wall would have been built, and you know what, that's not, now Dreamers can become citizens without the wall being built. Wrong, because you still have Biden administration says it may restart construction of the wall to fill gaps. Well, that always leads to, well, there's more gaps that need to be filled. Oh, well, that has to be. They're not abiding by their apoplectic, indignant, morally superior paradigm of thought. They're hypocrites. They're liars. They are people who make these statements, obsess, pontificate. Okay, Yad Vashem in Jerusalem had to refute AOC's revisionist historical claims, basically amounting to denial. Okay, I wrote a Jerusalem Post op-ed pertaining to what AOC tried to claim. Those same facilities that she tried to equate to a time period that she should never again talk about, and Yad Vashem was very polite with her. Okay, stated, learn more about the topic. You can read that tweet. Those facilities are still running. Okay? They're overcrowded. There's more people within those facilities. The living conditions are worse. Do you understand, morally superior, wonderful, liberal Democrat? Mr. Olbermann, you're a fantastic human being. Actually, Keith Olbermann was fantastic. Like, he used to be great when it was like sports. Oh my God. Then politics. Oh my, it's a completely different story. The facilities are overrun now. There's more people there. The living conditions are worse. You're in control now. The wonderful, morally superior Biden. What are you going to do about it? Not what do you want us to do. We want you to do something about it. We want you to live up to the ideals that you preached about when Trump was in office. He already offered citizenship to Dreamers. Where's the citizenship to Dreamers? It's already April now. You couldn't pass it in the House and the Senate. You have the House, Senate, and the presidency. Where's the citizenship? Democrats are not better on a whole bunch of topics than Republicans from a liberal perspective. You have this narcissism. Well, you know what? They're still better. No, they're not. Not even on this issue. President Obama deported more human beings than any president ever. They're not better on that issue. And the Senate report showed that he did worse than anything that took place in President Trump's administration, and I was against family separation. That was a bad, horrendous, immoral policy. Very bad. I was against it. But you know what? It was worse. Go look at the Senate report under President Obama. I can't even talk about it. Okay? Trafficking had to do with that. And, even more horrendous and immoral and criminal than anything you've heard about a specific congressman. If you think that was bad, go look at President Obama's Senate report. The rebuttal there is, well, it wasn't policy. Yes, it was. It happened under President Obama's administration. It wasn't a formal policy. Yeah, it was a policy. A formal policy, an informal policy, whatever. They always, look, you're never going to, because they have a morality fetish. Generally people on the left, they're not morally superior. They think they are, and their daily lives, when they wake up in the morning, they feel that they're on the side of good and justice and morality. A great many liberal Democrats, I'm not saying all, and I don't care if you're agnostic or an atheist or a religious person. I'm just explaining the situation here. A great many liberal Democrats happen to be either atheist or don't really care about what God would think. They care about what they would think. Their morality and spirituality, their concept of good versus evil, is viewed from the prism, from the lenses of what a liberal policy would be, or what is liberal. What is good for the Democratic Party? The Democratic Party provides a great many liberal Democrats spirituality, this spiritual sustenance, their belief system in what is moral is based upon what the Democratic Party says is moral. Okay? I don't care about the Republican Party. I like President Trump, so I voted for President Trump. First Republican I ever voted for as president. Okay? If Tulsi Gabbard ran against Jeb Bush, I'd vote for Tulsi Gabbard. Democrat. Okay, I'm not bound by a political party. I'm not an ideologue, although some people who don't like me say I am. I'm not an ideologue. I would vote Democrat if it was Tulsi Gabbard versus Jeb Bush. I don't want never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. Okay? I want a strong Second Amendment, that's true, but I don't want never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. That's what drives me. That's why I wanted Bernie Sanders over Clinton. I don't need a political party to give me morally, a foundation for feeling morally superior. I already know, if you look, the biggest dilemma we face as a country is never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. That's obvious. The fact that media doesn't focus on that's not relevant to the point. Democrats look at life their whole mentality is, well, we're morally superior because we always vote Democrat, vote blue no matter who, because it's always better than Republicans. Here's an example where it's not better. Look at the crisis taking place. It's worse. Living conditions are worse. The crisis is even more unmanageable. Now, Dreamers aren't even getting citizenship. President Trump offered them citizenship just for money for a wall that's being built right now. That's being built right now with Biden. My God, the hypocrisy is unbelievable. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. But then again, you have to understand, you have liberal pundits who will say vote blue no matter who because they want less immorality, but they're getting more. And what they have to do is distort historical record. That's why Yad Vashem went after AOC. And they were very polite in doing so. Okay? When you have Yad Vashem in Jerusalem saying, yeah, learn more about the topic, you're wrong. It's like they must distort historical record. They must engage in hyperbole. They must yell and scream and scratch and claw and tell you the sky is falling when Trump is presiding over a crisis. When they're presiding over a worse crisis, everything's radio silence, radio silence. No more investigative journalism. Where's AOC condemning what's taking place? Maybe a little condemnation here and there. Why doesn't she go to that chain link fence and look into the where the photographer doesn't even show where she's looking at in the photo? Okay, the whole thing is pure public relations. Pure public relations. He didn't even stop the Dakota Access Pipeline. Biden. These people are like at least like from a liberal perspective, because I'm not liberal anymore, but from a liberal perspective, I mean on immigration, I want dreamers to become citizens. So that's what I want. So on certain things I am liberal on. But from a liberal perspective, you would have been better off with Trump. Much better off with Trump on this issue. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you so much.